So as you're working on your humanimal, you may notice that the edge of this is a little rough. It doesn't look realistic. There's some dark pieces in here that we want to clean up. So this is where we come into the tool called Refine Edge or Refine Mask Edge. We double click on our mask. So I can do that one more time. I hit escape there. Double click. And now we're in our mask. Now we have some options here. We can go to, it's called onion skin, where it's giving you a faded background and then your edge here. You can go to overlay so you can see your edge. I honestly either like it on black, white, or on layers, so I can actually see what it looks like. Right now, on white and on layers is the same thing, so I'm just going to do it on layers because there's nothing behind it. What I'm going to do is get into my edge detection, and this is the one that's probably going to make the biggest difference. Usually click on Smart Radius, which is going to have the computer try to guess what you want the edge to be. And I start moving it up. You're going to see the edges are kind of changing and flexing. Ooh, that's a little too far. So if I go too far, it's going to start blurring out the edges. Here, it's pretty good. You'll see I still have that. Oh, it's pretty good. So then I'm going to maybe smooth it out a little bit. You'll see that your edges will change the more you do it. You don't want it too smooth or you're gonna add some darkness. So I'm going to smooth just a little bit. Feathering, I generally don't feather because it's gonna just blur the edges. It's gonna look something like that, which is not what I'm going after. I actually usually like to shift edge negatively. And you'll see that if you go out, it's adding. If you're going this way, you're kind of subtracting from the edge. So I like to do that. And I'm still getting these dark areas over here. So that's the thing that's bothering me. I could also add contrast and see what happens there. Sometimes you have to let go of the mouse for it to update. I could add a little bit of contrast. Then I'm going to take this and I am going to refine edge. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and click over some of these pieces. It's going to try and fix up my edges for me. So I'm just going to paint over the hairs. You want to paint sort of on your subject close to the edge. You're basically telling the computer what you do or do not want selected. Now, if it gets a little too extreme, what you may want to do is go back to your Smart Radius and kind of tone it down a little bit if you did too much, because now you'll notice that it's kind of coming back a little. You're going to see that it's cut out pretty good, and once you put it on a background, it's probably going to be pretty decent. So you just kind of paint over it. This is great for like anything that's like a hair or kind of a dicey area. Kind of clean that up there. Oops, Control Z, won't work. But sometimes they'll do a great job of just kind of fixing the edges on. Control Z on some parts of your selections. And if it doesn't look good, you can just Control Z it. Now remember, you're only working on the Pelican right now, so don't try and do the other one. Otherwise it'll do nothing. So once you're done, you're going to go ahead and hit OK. And it is going to bring out the selections. So this is what we have now. So let's do a before, after, before, after. So it looks much better than it did before. Now I would go ahead and do a file and save once you're happy with that. And then I'd move on to the next layer.